Today, like all days, is a powerful day. We are powerful creative beings. So how we interact with this moment is powerful. However, we often lose sight of the great opportunity that each present moment holds. We often lose sight of the opportunity of today. And there are a few reasons we do that. One big one is conditioning. We're born into this world as children knowing very little and adopting much of what our parents teach us. They teach us not just about the world, but we learn how to perceive ourselves. We learn what to believe about the world and about our context. So we become conditioned from the start, in a sense. And from day to day, we experience an earthly context that remains largely constant from day to day. Every day we sleep, eat, go to the bathroom, and over time we adopt and enshrine beliefs about ourselves and the world. We adopt an identity that seems to repeat. Over time, those beliefs and that identity can become quite firm, very firm. So much so that when we get to today, we experience today like just another day. Today is just another day. Tomorrow is just another day. I'm just myself now again, thinking the same thoughts, going through the same patterns. Another major reason that we forget the power of today is our beliefs become transparent. What I mean is the deepest beliefs that we hold on to appear to be characteristics of reality itself rather than our beliefs. We believe some things so deeply that when we look at the world, what we see in the world is actually a reflection of what we believe, not necessarily a reflection of the world itself. Our world, while very rigorous and firm and at times unrelenting, is in fact a neutral context that we as conscious agents get to apply our meaning to. We apply the meaning. And we buy into our beliefs. And then as we have those beliefs, then the world, in a sense, acts as a mirror back to us, showing us what we believe about ourselves and what we believe about the world. We feel something in response to our own belief, but we think it's the world doing it to us. We don't know the power that we have and how we have bought into what we've bought into. So with those two things being said, we get to a moment in today, and so many times we are, in effect, asleep at the wheel. And it seems like things are just happening to us all the time. We become unaware of the incredible power that we have in this present moment today, the opportunity of today. In a meaningful sense, there is no past. There is only now, the current present moment. And while they may sound just like a cute statement or something, it is in a very tangible sense within consciousness, true in that now in this moment, this is what you know. And your power then is now. And your now is always today, right now, this day. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It can't be tomorrow too. When it arrives, it will be now. But in all nows that you know, you have power. In fact, the now is our very point of power. I love this Eckhart Tolle quote. He says, the only thing that is ultimately real about your journey is the step that you are taking at this moment. That's all there ever is. But we build up lots of momentum in our lives. So much momentum. One thing about momentum is it already has a trajectory, a direction, a force to it. And so we are each being, in a sense, hit by the momentum that we have built up. This momentum has arisen from our past thoughts, our past decisions, our past intentions, our past beliefs. They keep arriving into the now, like we've set some current into motion, like water that is moving and arriving and hitting us now. Where did this water come from? What's hitting me now? We forget that we set that into motion. There's so many types of momentum too. There's belief momentum. You know, once we start believing something, we get kind of deeper into it, we get wrapped into it, and it's hard to find our way out. We have thought momentum. Oh, so much thought momentum. the thinking just keeps coming into our conscious awareness. If you go do one thing for a long time and then stop doing it, you'll find you keep thinking about it, keeps rising. In fact, all the thoughts that arise in our mind at one moment or another, we felt to be important to us. And that's why they're arriving now. It's like we leave little notes for ourselves. We say with our intention, this is important for me. And then the thought arises, maybe soon after, maybe many times after, maybe long after, but these thoughts arise because of the momentum that we gave them through our intention. And that, by the way, as a side comment, that is one reason that meditation is so helpful and powerful. It allows us to gain familiarity with what we really are, our consciousness itself, our awareness itself, which is not the thinking. It just knows the thoughts. It knows the momentum of the stream of thinking that is arriving constantly. And then we think we're the stream, we think we're the thoughts, but we're not. We set them into motion. And then we have biological momentum. That is, our body remembers everything we've ever physically been through in this life. All the injuries, all the sicknesses, all the exercise, all the diet, everything we've put into it, all the thinking, all the emotions. Our body remembers it all. The other day, I was marveling that I have this tiny little scar on my arm where my dog bit me when I was like 13. And he didn't mean to, he was just playing. And it was an inconsequential moment, but it's still there. It seems so long ago and so inconsequential, but it's still there. Our bodies are like a living record of all the things we've known and experienced, both physically and internally throughout our whole lives. So there's a lot of momentum in that. There's also social momentum. That is, we are born into certain social contexts. We find maybe new social contexts, and over time, we get in certain social rhythms and maybe certain perceptions that maybe others have about us, or maybe that we have about other people. And so we deal with that every day. And lastly, but definitely not least, we have energetic, intentional momentum. And what I mean is every day we are issuing forth an intention in all of our choice making. And at the very most simple way we can put it, and again, all this language is vastly oversimplified, but to oversimplify it, our intentions are primarily based in love or fear. All of our choice making, there's some, but it's complex. There's a lot going on to why we make the decisions we make, but at its root, our deepest reason why we make the choices we make, our intention, actually has an effect. It pushes on the reality. It sends out a signal, so to speak. It has a power to it. And so as we wield intention throughout our life, we build up an intention and momentum, you could say. And it's more like actually intention itself is only in this moment. What I'm speaking about is the energetic momentum that has arisen from intention over the course of a lifetime. And that energetic momentum has a reality to it that can be perceived in some higher systems, like the astral. You can perceive certain intentions or energies that are at work with a person and how they've used certain thoughts or emotions over the course of life. Okay, so we can become so trapped in the momentum of our lives that we forget that we can change the momentum. It's like, I've used this metaphor many times, but I love this metaphor. It's like when you're a little kid and you play in a pool and you go around in a circle with your friends and you make the water go around, and then you walk, and pretty soon it's going pretty darn fast. And if you stop walking and just hold still, it's going to carry you around in a circle now, because now the water has momentum. And it's so fun because now, wow, look, I'm being carried around in circles. All these types of momentum I just mentioned are just like that. We let go and we still are being carried by the momentum that we set because of the direction that we walked in our lives. But what happens if you decide to stand firm in the water? That's the fun part, right? You get to grab on and feel the water hit you. And maybe you can even walk against it if you want. That's the fun part. Everybody turns around and goes the other way, right? And the water's all hitting you and it's like, oh my gosh, I can barely move. That is metaphorically what it's like when we face our own momentum, our own fears, our own many thoughts, our own habits with how we treat our body or how we treat others around us. It's like that. When you first turn around, the water's hitting you in the face because you build up a lot of momentum. But what happens when you turn around and face the water? It loses its momentum because you're not adding energy to it. Now it's hitting you, it's slowing, it's stopping. And what we underestimate as humans is the amount of power we have in this moment to change that momentum. We feel like, oh, all these years I've lived, I have all this momentum. It's so hard, I can never do it. No, you can. You absolutely can. Because a very conscious and focused awareness and intention has a disproportionately high effect on the momentum. And in this moment, you can decide whatever you wish. You can decide how you will engage with your beliefs, your thoughts, your body, your social environment, your society, your intention. You get to choose. It's powerful. And so what I wish to remind everybody is that now is that moment. You have that power right now, or later today, if you like, whenever you wish. You have that power. As we do that, it is so key to remember not to be afraid. Don't be afraid of the fear. Don't be afraid of the pain. Don't be afraid of the momentum you've built up. It's okay. We're living in a very highly constraining system. We can't see clearly while we're here. That's the nature of being human. We're dealing with limited information and this whole system of people that are making fear-based choices around us every day. The world is deeply imperfect at this time. I should say that we are yet evolving. And so there is much to deal with. There's much to experience. That's okay. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay that you set this momentum into motion. Oh, but I'm being hit with such strong waves. Well, when you're a strong person and you swing a rope with a ball at the end of it, it comes around and hits you very strongly because you're strong. You have so much strength that when you set that motion into motion, then you feel the effects, but that means you have the strength to change it, even if you've forgotten. Reality is always listening to us. It's listening to our thoughts, our expectations, our beliefs, our intention. So what thoughts, expectations, beliefs, and intention are you bringing to bear today? Just right now. It doesn't have to be a big, huge project, just right now. It's very simple in this moment. What are you entertaining? What thought, what belief? Are you following fear? Or are you listening to the deeper fearlessness, the love, the power that is our true being, the freedom and the joy of beingness itself, and however that might actualize and however that might reflect in physical choices? It can mean so many things. Love can mean strange things, big things, small things, no things. It can work its way into anything. And so can if we choose a fearful choice making. But you get to make that choice, and it's so powerful. Consciousness is first, the physical is second. So what are you doing with your consciousness today? Can you identify what ways you could wield a more loving intention, make the more loving choice, whether with yourself or with others, with just the person next to you, with your pet, with the television, whatever? What choice can you make? And these small choices actually have great power. You may see them on the surface that they don't, but they do. Even our small choices, even our most simple intention has power over how things physically actualize. It has power over how we interpret them, which changes both how they're experienced and what reality ends up circling back to you. Perhaps most importantly, it has the power to actualize love, the growth of love, the expansion of being, which for all of us in the physical sense is a work towards the integration of experience itself. When you love others and when you love yourself, you are creating an environment that is more optimal for the integration of experience, which is what we're doing here. Coming to terms with having this perspective of being human and coming to terms with having that experience with all of its rigors. When we bring love into our lives, into the situation, or into the lives of others, even whatever small way, we are creating an environment in which we and they can integrate that experience rather than becoming overcome by fear and pain and misery. Fear and pain and misery are not our true nature. We can experience them in heaps in this place. I am not making light of that. I just wish to remind us that our true nature transcends that misery. Our being and the love that we come from is far, far deeper. It is always the true power, no matter how dark your life seems, no matter how much pain you feel. The true power is love. So when we can bring that into our lives in even a small way, How truly powerful it is indeed. I'm going to say a brief prayer, and then we're going to do a very quick meditation. Source of our being, we give you so much thanks and welcome you in this place as we make choices here in a world that can seem so constraining at times. Help us, please, to sense, to see clearly the momentum that we are building up in our own lives and in the lives of others, and help us to be aware of how we can make the more loving choice in whatever small way. Help us to see past the dense walls of our ego and all the limitations we place upon ourselves and each other. Help us to see past them, that we might be there for each other in a true way, and that we might help fulfill the great unfolding of love for ourselves and for each other in this world, in this place. Thank you for this day and the opportunities that this day holds. And thank you most of all for your never-ending love, patience, wisdom, grace, for all the things that are with us that we do not sometimes see. Thank you for that spirit of life that never, ever leaves. And thank you that ultimately there is nothing ever to fear. Amen. So if you take a moment to just be comfortable in your seat, just to have a brief moment to close your eyes and feel in the body of your awareness right now, your alive, conscious awareness. Feel in your body itself that is known within your awareness. What stresses or what pains are there present right now? What sound from a cell phone is there now? Try to feel your relationship with that. That is, do you feel momentum? Do you feel that tension? Do you feel the thinking that arises, the residue of it perhaps in the body? Where does it hurt and feel uncomfortable? Where are you not perfectly at peace right now? Bring your awareness to it, not as something to be feared, but as something to be seen and known. Give yourself permission to not only know it, to let it go if it wishes to go, to just be fully present with everything that you feel within you in this moment. Notice that the aliveness that you are is present amongst and within and behind everything that you feel. Be open to feel it all. Be alert as you look. Just alert. No label is required. Just see, feel, know. This alert awareness is what we always are. Not the stress, not the pain, not the fear. Sense today just that little bit who you really are. Know that you are of peace and freedom, always. Amen.